All right, guys, this is the Rambler, and I just got done watching season 2, episode 6 of Peacemaker. And I'm not gonna lie, guys, I don't get the hype with this show. Season 1 was amazing, but season 2 is just not hitting the right notes. First of all, we have this whole multiverse arc, which honestly, I get it, but it doesn't make too much sense. And not only that, but I don't feel connected to the characters. Season 1, they had this brilliant idea of bringing the butterflies in and Peacemaker and his group of people, defeating them and everything. And that was, amazing television. It was hilarious. It was dramatic. It had amazing action scenes. For instance, when the cop got killed by the butterfly, I felt that, right? Um, when you see Peacemaker kill his father, I felt that. I felt it in my bones. I felt a dramatic, I felt very emotional about that. But when it comes down to season 2, it's just not hitting. For some reason, James Gunn is not taking this series that serious, which was strange because he took season 1 very serious. And I understand what happened. Peacemaker season 1. This is that happened before James Gunn took over DC. But you would think that that would make him more motivated to make this show a hit series like with season 1. But I'm just not seeing. I'm not seeing it. First of all, let's start off by saying when it comes down to the brother, his brother in season 2, he's just not doing it for me. He it's not like he's acting the character. It's not like the actor is doing bad when it comes down to his character, but we have no connection between him and his brother. We only had that one clip when they were younger. Well, a couple clips, I guess. When they were listening to music, which was great and all, but then the other clip where he basically kills his brother. That's sad. I truly get it, but we have no connection with this old ass man that we see on screen now. Um, and when I'm watching episode 6 of Peacemaker, I'm hoping that something's amazing is gonna happen this episode, right? Because James Gunn has been hyping up from episode 6 to 8. He says we have to watch it, right? And we get the Lex Luthor cameo, which mind you, that was very underwhelming. Again, it's not like Nicholas Holt can't act, but his Lex Luthor is just not intimidating. He's not menacing. When I see him on screen, I don't feel like this is one of the most intelligent men in the world. The dialogue wasn't bad, but it wasn't great either. He kind of came off as just tiny, not as big as the Lex Luthor in Justice League Unlimited or in the Superman animated series. Like I said, he doesn't come off as menacing. When he's talking to Rick Flag, I get where he's going, right? He basically made a deal saying that, hey, you transfer me to another, prison. Obviously he's gonna escape. Blah blah blah. I get that. I truly do. But like I said, that whole conversation just didn't feel. I don't know. I feel like Rick Flag should be nervous when he's talking to Lex Luthor. He felt just too relaxed. And since we're talking about Rick Flag, Senior, he doesn't. I don't know. I think it's because that character also played in the Marvel universe. I forgot what the character he played, but he plays the military guy, and then he becomes like super. He gets like the fucking nice ass upgrade, and he goes after Captain America and all that shit. But he's playing the same character to me. I can't tell them apart. He just doesn't stand out. With Rick Flag Jr., he stood out a little bit, but that also could be because of the fact that we never really seen him in other things. So I don't really know about the actor's, previous roles. So I really can't just go off base of that. But Rick Flag Sr., he seems like he's acting like he was in Marvel. It's just not interesting. And the whole love story between Hardcourt or whatever the fucking name is, and Peacemaker is just not interesting. I don't know why James Gunn keeps on trying to focus on this bullshit. We get it, she's a fucking badass and she doesn't have any emotions. But I'm sorry, it's just not working. And it's so weird because why would Peacemaker keep on trying to win over a woman who clearly does not give a fuck about him? It's like, dude, you fucking killed her friend slash lover. Why do you think that she's fucking with you? Just because she fucked you that one night when she was drunk? It's like, dude, get over yourself, bro. Like, it's just not working for me. We have Tim Meadows' character. He's supposed to be playing the comical black guy. The whole eagle blindness is just it's stupid. Like you're telling me you're blind from looking at different birds. It just doesn't make any sense. It's like James Gunn is just not even trying. He's just throwing anything at the wall. Then like I said, we have the father, Peacemaker's father, who was amazing in season 1. I like the whole racist background he was doing. He comes off as a scumbag. He plays that role a little bit better. In season 2, when he's trying to be like the decent father, the Peacemaker, it just doesn't hit as hard. It's not as interesting. After that great performance in season 1, it just doesn't. I don't know. It's just not doing it for me. Of course, we have the what's it called? I think X World. I forgot what the right term for it is. But basically, they're in the Earth full of Nazis, right? This is the Earth where basically white people take over and they get rid of all the minorities. Okay, so if you've been following Reddit or any of the discussion forums on Peacemaker Season 2, you have been seeing that people have been confirming this. They said, hey, I don't see any black people, Hispanics, or, Asians in this universe. This could be, universe, I cannot remember that. But it's basically the X universe where like the Nazis take over and it's just about all white power and shit. So when that, when it was actually shown that to be the case, it just wasn't interesting. Because you have to keep in mind, right? I get the whole multiverse thing. I get it. I truly do. But they haven't set it up properly. They did not set it up. James Gunn did not set it up good in Superman. And it's not working in Peacemaker Season 2 either. Like I said, why would I give a fuck about these characters in this multi-universe when you know that Peacemaker is going to eventually come back? It just seems like a waste of time. We obviously know he's going to choose the hardcore of the universe that we're accustomed to. He's not obviously going to stay in the different universe full of the Nazis. It just doesn't make sense, and it's just a waste of time. How do you go from Killer Butterflies to Amazing Story to like a multiverse arc? Now, mind you, I did hear some. I saw, I think, a post. I don't know how true this is, but basically James Gunn is confirming that Peacemaker Season 3 is not going to happen, and a lot of those Peacemaker characters are going to go in different shows. And if that happens, that could work, and I get why he's doing that. If he's doing that, if he's going that route, I get why he would do the multiverse to show that, hey, this is what would have happened if Peacemaker's brother lived, and his father was still in his life and all that bullshit. I get that, I truly do. But that's something you save for like a season 3. And if he's not doing a season 3, well, he should have just went a different route. There's so many different stories you can come up with for season 2. You can have Amanda Waller come back into play, and she hires Rick Flag to chase down Peacemaker, right? That would have been more interesting. I'm sorry. The season 2 it's just not good to me, and it's weird that the fanboys are saying how amazing this is. It's not. You need to stop. If you find this a season entertaining, I'm sorry. I just can't take you serious when you say about good TV shows. It just doesn't make any sense. Hopefully they can bring it home on episodes 7 to 8, but it's not looking good, guys. I think this season is a flop. I think this is a sophomore slump. I think that James Gunn is not taking this season serious, and he's just throwing everything at the wall. And I'm very disappointed after amazing season 1 of Peacemaker. All right, guys, I will see y'all next time. Y'all have a good evening.